Hey, it's Murph and Andy, and we love talking sports and more.
Catch us live at 1 o'clock every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday right here on Iowa Everywhere.
And if you miss it, just go to iowaeverywhere.com. You can watch or listen there or wherever you find your podcasts.
Jake Brend and Derek Duke break down everything you need to know throughout the Big 12. This is Bigger Than 12, presented by WealthCharter Retirement Planning and Tax. From the Channel Seed Studios, this is Bigger Than 12 on Iowa Everywhere.
Welcome into the Channel Seed Studios for Bigger Than 12 on Sunday, October 26th. I am Jake Brend here at Cyclone Fanatic and Iowa Everywhere, joined by Derek Duke. Derek, how was Shiner Fest?
It would have been a lot better if Iowa State probably would have won that game, but I caught the second half there, or maybe most of the fourth quarter there, and I kind of just zoned out for a bit at Shiner Fest, but after that, the beers kind of started flowing, and then after that, there's too many people for me. I had to get the hell out of there, go catch a couple games, the Arizona State-Houston game at a local bar, so it worked out.
Well, stop being a homer for the Cyclones. We've got a lot of BYU fans listening, so
rightfully
nice.
So. I mean, they certainly deserve it after that game and that performance, so we're going to talk about them here in a bit. Yeah,
we've got a lot to talk about today. BYU, just a really good win in Ames. Houston, the Fighting Willie Fritzes, oh baby, they're here and they're for real. K-State makes it 180 straight. No, sorry, that says 18.
Feels like it.
Either way. Cincinnati kills Baylor. TCU hangs on. Utah plays a perfect game. And Oklahoma State played football. All of that, we'll have our random Big 12 quarterback, our top 5 power rankings, Iowa Trivia, Big 12 Survivor, and we'll pick some games for the next week. We got to start in Ames as Iowa State drops their third in a row and BYU moves to a perfect 8-0, 41-27 the final. The Cougs had a 31-3 scoring run throughout this game. Just another poor performance for Iowa State, and BYU does what they do best, win.
Yeah, Jake, here we are again, end of October, BYU undefeated. I feel like nobody nationally is talking about them. 8-0, in control of the Big 12. Clearly the number one team in the conference now. And it starts with what I like to call Mini Tebow, Bear Bachmeier, who's going to be, I'm going to try this. I know it's early for us, Jake, but I'm going to try it. Who's my monster? Beast of the Week.
There we go.
Beast of the Week.
If you aren't awake now you certainly will be.
You better be awake.
I better be awake. 307 yards, 2 passing touchdowns, led BYU in rushing yards, had another score on the ground. He is the best player in the Big 12 that nobody is paying attention to. And yet, week after week, this man is putting the offense on his back, carrying them to a victory, whether it's through the air, on the ground. Bear Bachmeier just simply gets it done every single time. He's a winner. I don't know what it is about him. He's got that trait. Even when he makes mistakes, he bounces back, brushes it off like nothing's happened, continues to go out there, play after play, and come up with big games. So I don't know what it is about him. Just, he's got that it factor for me. So he's, without a doubt, my Beast of the Week. And I think just overall, where the Cougars won that game was in the second half, outscoring Iowa State 24-3. They took advantage of every single mistake that Iowa State made in that game. And by the way, Parker Kingston may just be the best wideout in the Big 12 that nobody's talking about as well. Again, BYU is a team. It's a team at this point that's hard not to see them make it to Jerry World for me. Are they flashy? No. But all I know is that they keep winning game after game after game. They keep stacking these wins up. It's been really impressive to watch so far for me.
Yeah, he's just a winner. I think that's all you can say about him. And it wasn't perfect at at points on Saturday. But what did he do every time BYU needed to play? He made it. Every single time.
It's every week.
It's 3rd and 11. Oh, he's going to find a soft spot in the zone. Throw a ball. It's 4th and 2. I'm going to roll out. I'm going to jump for the first down. I'm going to put my body on the line and do it. He just makes plays, and you were on this earlier than anybody, I think, Derek, in saying that he's an upgrade over Jake Retzloff.
He is. I don't think there's any question about that now.
I wasn't ready to say that after wins over East Carolina and Stanford, but now I am ready to say that, and you're right. I don't think it's close. Bachmeier's a winner, and that's all he does. They've got a big test coming up against Texas Tech after a bye week, but
big game.
I think you're right. I'd be shocked if we don't see BYU in Jerry World at this point. And BYU is the type of team that I think could really give an SEC or a Big Ten school problems. The way that they can play so multiple, right? Yes, they can suck the air out of the ball, and they can win kind of like they did against Utah and just punch you in the face for 60 minutes straight. But I think we saw yesterday it was the skill that really won them the game. It was Kingston. It was Chase Roberts. They're really good, and they can win in a lot of different ways. And I've been wrong about BYU, but last week I said I'm done doubting BYU, and they proved me right to not doubt them.
I think just across the board, like you said, they can win in multiple ways. Yesterday they scored 41. I believe that's only the second time they've scored over 40 points this entire season, going back to their opening game against Portland State, where I believe they won 60-something to 0. But again, they have the weapons offensively to get it done. Bear Bachmeier can run. He could throw the ball. They've got weapons with Roberts and Kingston. LJ Martin's injury is going to be something to keep an eye on moving forward for them. So that's going to be that's going to be really sad if he's not able to go next week when they play Texas Tech after their bye week. But again, defensively, they weren't great in that game either. Especially early on, they weren't great. Yet the offense finds a way to overcome that and outscore Iowa State in the end. What was I don't even know what the total was. It like 31-3 run that they were on.
Yeah, it was
at one point in that
31-3.
game.
It went from 24-10 to 41-27.
Yeah, it's just unbelievable.
And that leads me right into my Freedom Tire, who needs a fix, and it's my beloved Iowa State Cyclones. Just another game where, as positive as I just was towards BYU, I felt like Iowa State was on par with them physically, skill-wise. They were on par, if not better, in the first half. They still looked like, oh yeah, these are the Iowa State Cyclones who should be Big 12 title contenders, who are among the best team in the conference. And then they started shooting themselves in the foot. A bad interception in the first half. An inexcusable pick six in the second half. A even more inexcusable play on the punt return in a clear poison situation to not get out of the way, to give BYU the ball, and then they score. A holding penalty inside the 10. Like, time after a bad drop, time after time after time. Felt like every time Iowa State was about to get over the hump, every time Iowa State was about to maybe put this game away in the first half, they didn't. They allowed BYU in it. And being in the postgame after, I just sensed maybe defeat, and it wasn't an anger like maybe the Cincinnati game or maybe the sadness of the Colorado game. It was more just a desperation. I don't know where we go from here, and I don't know where Iowa State goes from here either, because I thought Taylor Mauser had a really good game plan. I thought if all was right, Iowa State looked like they could have dropped 50 in this game, the way that they were moving the ball. But again, it's crucial mistake in crucial moments, and that's not how Iowa State made it to Dallas last year. They were able to overcome those crucial mistakes by being clutch, and this year They haven't been clutch, especially in these last 3 games, and they need to go over to South Duff and Ames and hit up Freedom Tire, just like you should hit up Freedom Tire for all of your auto service needs. Locations all across the metro in Altoona, Ames, Des Moines, West Des Moines, and Urbandale. You can visit them at freedomtire.com. Cyclones really, really need a fix.
Yeah, it's just, and it was too many missed opportunities. I tweeted out they had a chance to put that game to bed early, and they ended up being the ones to shit the bed late. I mean, Rocco Beck, 3 picks, didn't have a ton of help, too many drops. I think it's safe to say now that he's not the same quarterback that we saw a month ago.
Yeah,
and special teams
changed.
And special teams, even with Conradi coming back, wasn't great either. Iowa State just had chance after chance in that game and just couldn't capitalize at all. I mean, there were just mistakes that I saw on Saturday from them that were just uncharacteristic. I mean, characteristic of what we've seen the last couple of weeks, but overall in general, not something we normally see from an Iowa State coach team under Matt Campbell. I mean, as simple things as just getting away from the damn ball on a punt. I get it. He was kind of forced into it, but just you have to be aware in that situation. You can't make mistakes like that, especially against a team like BYU. You're not playing Colorado. You're not playing Oklahoma State. You're playing a top 20 team in the country, maybe now a top 10 team in the country against BYU. You simply can't make these mistakes against a team like that and expect to win.
100%. Just a disappointing loss, and it does change the trajectory of the season. Is Iowa State still a good team? 100%. I think so. They don't look like it right now, though. And it's going to be really hard to keep this on the tracks when you look at the upcoming schedule. Not that there's any non-winnable games coming up. Depending on, we'll get into Arizona State in just a second. Depending on Sam Levitt's health, depending on Jordan Tyson's health, Iowa State very well could be favored in this game next week against Arizona State. But the way that they're making mistakes, why should I believe that they're going to win that game? And I guess we'll see. The culture of this team will be tested. The will of this team will be tested. They started media day by saying we want to get back right here to Arlington, where the Big 12 championships played, and now that goal's out the table. So they've really got to rally and find something to rally for, and that'll be a test for Matt Campbell, Rocco Beck, some of the other team captains.
We're going to find out pretty quick here to see how much gas this team's got left in the tank.
No doubt. A team that I'm not worried about at all. The Houston frickin' Cougars, man.
Damn.
How about them Cougs? They go into Tempe and beat the defending champs convincingly. I know it ended up being a 1-score game. They got up 24-0 in this one, and their defense might be the best in the conference. It's probably either of the Cougs if I had to pick one of them. And they just took it to them and pick up a convincing win to move to 7-1. Who would have thought? We were both higher on Houston than most. We weren't this high. Not this high at all.
I haven't been this high in probably 10 years, honestly.
On drugs?
No comment. If you haven't paid attention to Houston all season long, then this has to be the game where they go from getting your curiosity to now having your full attention, as I would like to say. They go into the fourth quarter. If you were watching that game late, it was actually a very entertaining game. But before that, it really wasn't. If you're watching the first 3 quarters, they led ASU 24-0 going into the final period. Who the hell saw that coming? Did you ever think at one point Houston would be up 24-0 over Arizona State in Tempe? There's no way. Not a chance.
No.
The Cougars dominated. They controlled the game. They ran the ball nearly 50 times. I like to say they squeezed Arizona State's defense, held the ball for 37 minutes plus. And for Wegman, it's not always going to be the numbers through the air. Man runs for 2 touchdowns in this one. Defensively, outside of the last 10 minutes or so, they were damn near perfect. That was a classic Willie Fritz coach game out in Tempe.
Willie Fritz. What a coach. What a freaking coach. 31 years he's been a head coach. He's climbed the ranks from JUCO to D2 to the group of 5, up through the group of 5 again, up to Power 4, and all he does is win. And that makes Willie Fritz my beast of the week.
Beast of the week.
Rank has turned 21, so they decided to turn it up by brewing the tried and true flavors to 6 Oh yeah. It's available in mean green, white haze, gnarly grape, and killer sunrise. Whenever you're buying your beer, your alcohol, be sure to grab a 6-pack of the Beast. Monsters, the Beast Hard Seltzer. Wherever you purchase your alcohol, you got to be 21. And you got to be ready to handle the beast. And Willie Fritz, man, he is the type of guy that has earned this, the way that he has risen through the ranks, in literally just one at every single stop that he's been at. It's all he does. And his teams are tough. His teams are disciplined. And I think you even saw this in year one, when they had zero talent, at least on the offensive side of the ball. They shouldn't have scored a point last year, and they still found ways to win a couple games. And they've definitely found ways to be in a lot of games. And that's part of the reason why I was high on them coming into this year. I thought they'd make a bowl game. I didn't think they'd be Big 12 title contenders, and right now, they've got an inside track to be there. They're going to have to win out most likely, but listen to their schedule. West Virginia at home, at Middle Florida, TCU at home, at Baylor. Who's coaching Baylor on Black Friday? I don't like. They could be favored in every single one of those games. And yes, I still don't think they're certainly not on par talent for talent with Texas Tech. Nobody is. No. They're probably not even on par for talent with Arizona State, who they just beat, BYU, maybe even Cincinnati, Iowa State, TCU, but they just win. And I think they're going to keep winning, and they might, there's an outside chance, but they might be in Dallas. Either way, they could go 9-3, which would probably at this point be considered a disappointment in quotations. And Willie Fritz would still be my beast of the week. What a coaching job. He's the man. I'm a massive, massive Willie Fritz guy.
Yeah, I just want to flip it to Arizona State here just for a minute. I mean, that was a super ugly, sloppy game all around. Fumbling, 12 penalties in that game.
Ugh.
Sam Levitt gets shaken up again. It just seems like he's been bitten by the injury bug all season long. This feels like a team now who's on the ropes, and I wonder if the pressure is going to get to them at some point. And it truly was a big letdown after that Texas Tech win the week before. Emotionally, I can say they looked exhausted. And Houston just took it completely out of them, especially in those first 3 quarters, and then overall for 60 minutes in that football game. And again, on Houston, I can't believe this Houston team. 7-1. I'm pretty sure going to be a top 25 by the time this show comes out. 4-1 in Big 12 play. You mentioned already they get West Virginia and UCF next, which going into the final 2 games of the season against Baylor and TCU, they could be 9-1, 6-1 in Big 12 action. It's not crazy to say that they could win out and make it to Jerry World. Like that, I can't even believe I'm saying we could be looking at an 11-win Houston team at the end of the year.
So they shared this stat. I should have written it down. But when they bring in Dean Connors, Tanner Koziel, all of these top players they brought in through the transfer portal were all on losing teams last year. And I think this goes to show maybe Fritz's ability to evaluate talent, and he's gotten them. He clearly found diamonds in the rough between Dean Connors, Tanner Koziel, Amari Thomas. Like they've just got players. They've got winning players, and Connor Weigman, he's at the top of that too. He ends up as the team's leading rusher with 111 yards. He was my runner-up for Beast of the Week. Both of them came in the same program. And he was the better quarterback in this game. And Levitt is clearly playing through an injury. He left this game with an injury. he is putting his body on the line, and I respect Levitt to no end for that. But they didn't have Jordan Tyson. They didn't look like the same team as the one that beat Texas Tech last week, and I think your analysis is really good that they look like a team that was clearly physically exhausted with all the injuries, but also mentally exhausted. And there's probably not a worse team to play in the league when you're mentally exhausted than a tough Willie Fritz team coming into your place.
No doubt. I'm glad you brought up the Tyson injury as well. That did definitely play a factor into this game, especially for them offensively. Then when you throw Sam Levitt out as well with the injury, if you're Arizona State, I don't know what you can do without Tyson and without Levitt. That's clearly your two best players there. So you're not going to win many games without those two guys playing. So hopefully they're going to be okay next week and both come back healthy, because if not, I just don't see a path for Arizona State at this point.
They might be holding more open tryouts for their kicking game. My gosh.
Yeah,
Jesus Gomez, he did make a 47-yarder, but his two misses, I swear, I think one of them was like a 35-yarder. I swear he missed it by 35 yards. Two of them were not close. And
yeah,
I could see just the frustration on Kenny Dillingham's face at the end of this game. And I don't blame him, but he looked real frustrated. And you said it. They got a long hill to climb, and they've got a bit of a easy-ish road coming up. I mean, they can easily win out still. And what does that mean for them? I don't know. They're the tiebreakers. I'm going to make a rule that I'm not going to look at tiebreakers until like November 15th.
Agreed.
Just have. There's no point in doing it now. So they're going to have a chance to rally, but it's going to have to be in Ames next week. And they're going to get a desperate Iowa State team, and that could be a good or a bad thing. Either way, congrats to the Houston Cougars. I'm a big fan of Willie and all of his players. K-State, back from the dead, dominates Kansas. Beats them for the 18th year in a row. Oh, where do we start with this one? I think domination is just the word I would look at. They even fumbled the opening kickoff. Kansas scores immediately. And K-State still finds a way to put this game away almost immediately. I know Kansas made it a little interesting before half, but it never felt like Kansas was winning this game. K-State looks like the team that I picked to win the Big 12. And that, I think, makes it really interesting next week when they welcome Texas Tech into Manhattan. But yeah, poor Kansas. Look a month ago. Let's just go to the same day as that Missouri game in like the third quarter. Kansas is up 10. K-State's losing to Army. They're like, well, we get them at home. We're in our new refurbished stadium. K-State sucks. I think Kansas is a pretty good team. Surely this is the year the streak ends. Doesn't matter. K-State, they're playing their best football of the year right now, and Kansas is looking extremely mediocre at best. And they extend the winning streak to 18 games.
I think it's 17.
Is it 17?
I think it's 17 games in a row. It's 17. Yeah, just total domination from Kansas State. It feels like we've been waiting on that version of K-State since the season started, and unfortunately it took 8 games to finally get it. I thought Avery Johnson managed the game extremely well, didn't turn the ball over, really didn't make that big mistake that he typically does make during games. And then we got to see the offense make some big plays as well. And I think the same could be said about their defense, that they have the talent on that side of the ball, and I thought they put it on full display against a really good Kansas offense. Forced 4 turnovers in that game. I know the weather was a little sloppy, and that certainly played a factor. Big punt block early on that turned into a score. It really was a total ass-kicking in Lawrence, and that's why Kansas State has now won, I believe, 17 in a row against Kansas. They're playing their best football right now. Granted, it took forever, but they still only have 2 losses in conference play, which means they aren't quite dead yet. And I think they're going to be a problem for teams playing them in the month of November. And looking at it now, I know they're 4-4, but they're probably are the best 4-4 team in the entire country. I don't know who else could be in that category for 4-4 teams, but Kansas State's a team I would not want to play right now.
And Kansas State is my carbless, refreshing take of the week. I could go for a carbless right now, but it's 8:30 in the morning, and I got to go cover an exhibition basketball game. So maybe I'll enjoy a carbless as my Dallas Cowboys beat the Denver Broncos later today.
Jeez.
How about them Cowboys? Sorry, way off topic.
Way too early for that, too.
Carbless has so many incredible flavors. Cranberry is my favorite. You should go pick up. What I like about Carbless is you can pick up packs of just certain flavors, or you can do the variety pack. Like there's some seltzers out there where like, yeah, I like one of their flavors, but the other 3 flavors suck. That's not the case with Carbless. If I just want some lemon lime or some grape, I can do it. Go pick up your Carbless wherever you buy your alcohol. Kansas State is just proof of why you can't quit in college football. They had every reason to quit. They had every reason for their best players to hang their cleats up, enter the portal after their bad 1-3 start. They didn't, though. They clearly found something in Waco in a game that they inexplicably lost. Like that, if you want to draw up a way for a college football team in 2025 to quit, it's you start the season with a loss in Dublin to your biggest rival in a game that you gave up a home game for and your fans were pissed. You have to come from behind to beat an FCS opponent the next week. You lose to a team that can't throw the ball in Army the next week. You lose to an Arizona team that was terrible last year. They're certainly better this year. You figure it out for a week against a bad Central Florida team. And then you clearly look like the better team against Baylor. Hey, we're only 1-1 right now, or we're only 1-2 right now in Big 12 play. Who knows? If we get this Baylor game, we can get this back on the tracks. They have the worst choke of the year in that Baylor game. That right there is where a team would fold, a team would roll over and die. Nope, not Chris Kleiman's team. It's why Kleiman is still a great coach in my eyes. It hasn't been their season. In fact, it's probably been their year from hell, similar to what Kansas went through last year, similar to what Iowa State went through a few years ago. But they've responded with statement wins over TCU and then their biggest rival, and that sets up a massive game against Texas Tech, in a game that I'd be terrified if I was a Tech fan. The way that they're banged up, the way that K-State's playing, I would not want to walk into Manhattan right now, and that's my refreshing take of the week. Just a good coaching job by Chris Kleiman to keep this thing on the tracks.
Yeah, I wanted to flip it to Kansas for a minute. I was looking at the rest of their schedule. They're 4-4 right now, and their 4 games are going to be against Oklahoma State, Arizona, Iowa State, and Utah. Ooh. I don't think making a bowl game is a guarantee for this Kansas team after losing this game at all, which to me is pretty crazy. If they finish 5-7 or even 6-6, that's got to be a really disappointing for that Kansas, especially when you have Jalen Daniels coming back. You knew how good they were going to be offensively. So for me, that when I saw that kind of surprised me a little bit. I don't know if they're going to make a bowl game this year.
Yeah, I just don't think this team is very good. Their offense, yes, is good. I still don't trust, even though he's in his 6th year, I don't trust Jalen Daniels over the course of the season to take care of the ball and to make winning plays all of the time. Their defense, that's the issue. Their defense is horrible.
Yeah.
But I still don't think their offense is at the level that it's been in the past when it comes to the skill. Yes, Highshaw's a good back. He's not Devin Neal. They don't really have that guy at receiver. Cam Pickett, Emmanuel Henderson are both good. But they don't have the same juice as they've had in the past. And I'm with you. I think they'll probably find a way to get to 6-6. But it's...
I mean, they'll win next week. Let's put it that way.
The line is probably right at 5.5. They're either going 5-7 or 6-6, and that is no doubt a disappointment for KU.
For sure.
Well, Cincinnati, still somehow probably even more of a quiet contender than Houston, all the way up there in Ohio. They just dominate Baylor, which we'll get to Baylor. But Cincinnati, another really good win where they just look like a top 20 team. I don't think there's any question of that at this point. I think Cincinnati is just a really good team. Their defense shown some signs of improvement. And Brendan Sorsby, maybe not the best day statistically. Yeah, if there's a picture to wrap up the Dave Aranda era, it's that picture right there.
Giving a pile driver right to the player.
If you're watching on YouTube. But yeah, they just took it to Baylor. And Cincy improves to 7-1. And they're one of those 4 teams that's right in the mix to go and win the Big 12.
Yeah, this game got interesting at one point, but not early on. I mean, they took a 24-0 lead and just really kind of held on. I thought Brendan Sorsby outplayed Sawyer Robinson, and his stats weren't great by any means, but he didn't necessarily do it with his arm. He did it with his legs. He led Cincinnati with 85 rushing yards and a score. And when the game got closer in the fourth quarter, Sorsby led them to back-to-back scoring drives to pull away again. And as much as I appreciate the offense, which I feel like most of the focus on Cincinnati has been about, you've got to tip your cap to Cincy's defense here. They held Baylor to just 6 points in the first half, 20 points overall. Sawyer Robinson actually had his lowest passing yards of the season in this game with 137 yards, and the defense was able to get a pair of takeaways as well. That's why Cincy is going to be my focus for my Carbless Refreshing Take of the Week. The fact that Cincinnati beats Baylor by 3 touchdowns, I didn't see that coming. I don't think you saw that coming, Jake, at all. I don't know if anybody in the country did. And credit to Cincinnati. I mean, there's no denying that they are a legit Big 12 title contender. And when they can play like that defensively, like the way they did against Baylor, I think you can make an argument that they are the best team in the conference right now, maybe even above BYU, which I know might be a stretch for some people. But when they play like that on both sides of the ball, I don't know many teams that can beat Cincinnati right now or hang with them.
I'm with you. They're just a really impressive team. When it comes to Sorsby, when you mentioned it, when Baylor cut it to 1 score late in the third quarter, that drive that he led them on is a perfect drive to just put the game away. And it's a tough place to play. They've got a good home atmosphere. They've got really good skill guys, which they've not had in the past. They run the ball well. They just kind of do everything well, at least offensively, and I think defensively they've come a long way too. They're a lot better defensively than the team we saw a month ago in Lawrence. But how about Baylor?
Woof.
I think Sawyer Robertson, it's safe to say at this point, has been a disappointment this season. Statistically, you can say, yeah, he's been good statistically. I still don't think he's had a game that he just went out and flat out won the game for him. Their best win of the season is K-State at this point. I guess back to SMU. He was good against SMU that day, but that K-State game, I wouldn't say he outright won that game. That was more of K-State handing them the game.
Yeah.
I've just been disappointed in him, and a guy that I thought was certainly towards the top of the conference. I mean, at worst, coming into the season, he was a top 3 quarterback in the league, and I don't know if you can make that argument right now. He just hasn't looked sharp. He barely threw for any yards yesterday. Threw 3 picks last week against TCU. Just hasn't looked like the same guy that came on the scene late last year.
Yeah, and at this point, I don't see a path for Dave Aranda to keep his job either. Like, we keep talking about this. I felt like we've been talking about this for over a year now, but at some point, Baylor's going to have to make a decision. I don't see them sticking with Aranda going into 2026. Do you see that at all?
Well, the problem that I see is the amount of jobs that are open. And it looks like LSU might be coming open now.
Huh.
So you've got Penn State, you've got LSU, you've got Florida, Arkansas. I'm sure there's a couple others. But
Oklahoma State. I think you said Oklahoma State too.
They're ahead of Oklahoma State. I'm just trying to think. of all the jobs that are open or might come open, where does Baylor rank in that pecking order? And are you going to find a guy that you think is a clear upgrade from Aranda in that? Maybe there is a guy that we're not aware of. Maybe they've got some guy from Texas or with Texas roots that they know, hey, if this job comes open, we can certainly go and get him. If that's the case, then you should fire Aranda. But if you're just firing him to fire him, you have to have a real look in the mirror for a second and say, okay, if we fire him and we're the 8th best job on the market, do we want the 8th best coach, or would we be better off waiting another year and trying to get somebody next year? I don't know what the right decision is. That's why these decisions are tough, and I appreciate when schools think about it like that and not just be reactionary. But I'm with you. I don't think Aranda's the guy for this program going future, and that's probably your answer right there.
No, without a doubt, for sure, 100%. And again, shout out to Cincy. Again, I think they're probably the best team in the Big 12 that nobody is talking about at all. I feel like even as a top 25 team, nobody is taking them seriously. Nobody was talking about them. But hats off to them. They are the cream of the crop in the Big 12.
TCU hangs on over
Barely.
They got tested by one of the best teams in the conference, my West Virginia Mountaineers. Scotty Fox, baby. My Mountaineers might have found their quarterback.
He looked good.
Yeah, this was a game that it never felt like TCU would lose, but it had that. It was a coal rush in Morgantown. It had that feeling in the fourth quarter. It just felt like everything was going right for West Virginia, and maybe it was just going to be one of those nights, but TCU does just enough to hang on and pick up a win they had to have, because you just can't lose to West Virginia this season. It just can't happen. I don't have much analysis outside of that.
For me, it was an oddly close game. I started really paying attention to this one in the second half. Too close for comfort, for me personally, considering the fact that TCU was my survivor pick. They went up 10-0 early. I thought there would be no looking back, but give credit to West Virginia for fighting back. I don't know if it was the uniforms or they just simply got tired of us crapping on them every single week, but they didn't make it easy for TCU at all. In fact, I thought West Virginia's quarterback, Scotty Fox Jr., outplayed Josh Hoover in the game. 301 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, probably the best we've seen him play all year. And looking at the numbers, neither team ran the football very well, which is a bit surprising to me. But in TCU, they had to settle for way too many field goals on Saturday. Normally, I think they're a team that can score once they get across midfield. They ended up having to kick it, I believe, 3 times in this one. But they did control the clock, and that's where they won. West Virginia's problem in that game, clearly, the offense just couldn't stay on the field. Looking at their third down attempts, they go 3 for 14 on third down. And despite being aggressive on fourth down, they went 2 for 7 on fourth down. That's just not good enough. But again, credit to TCU for getting out of there with the win. Credit for West Virginia showing up for the first time in what feels like forever. And I believe I saw this stat. It was the first time in a month where West Virginia threw for over 150 yards in a game, which seems crazy to me.
Well, good for West Virginia. Showing some signs of life.
Some fight. They had some fight in the game. That's all you ask for in these games. They don't roll over and die every week.
I still got my West Virginia stock. It's not my fault. Jaheim White's out for the year.
What stock? You picked him second to last.
What? No, I didn't. I picked him
that's right. You did.
I picked him like 11th or something.
Well, I'm glad that pick's working out for you.
Yeah, I'm real Big 12 expert over here. Utah hangs on against Colorado, squeaking by the Buffs. 50-something to 7, the final, out in Salt Lake City. I'll admit, I did not watch the second half of this game. I watched just enough to take a picture of this incredible first half box score.
My God.
And I know this is your Freedom Tire Who Needs a Fix, Derek. Without Devin Dampierre, by the way.
Yeah, not a ton to take away from this one. Utah just simply kicked the shit out of Colorado. Racked up nearly 600 yards of offense. And if you're looking at on YouTube here at the screen, they were on pace for almost 800 yards of offense in this game. 422 rushing yards. It doesn't take a genius to figure out that one was going to be an ass kicking. And that's why Colorado is going to be my freedom tire who needs a fix. I know our expectations were low, but holy shit, by far the worst performance by Colorado this season, just all around. Colorado finished with 140 yards of offense, 7 points, 3 for 16 on third down. And as you saw on the screen there, at halftime, Colorado had negative 18 total yards. I don't think in my 10 years of covering college football, I have ever seen that. So it was truly pathetic all around. Just, I don't even know how to describe that game. It was one of the worst games I've ever seen. Oklahoma State could have played Utah better than what Colorado did on Saturday night, and that's sad to say.
How did Iowa State lose to this team? I
don't
had
know.
like a second crisis last night.
Ugh.
Because it's a 3-game losing streak. That sucks. The Cincinnati loss, I think the better team just won that day.
For sure.
The Colorado loss, there's no way they ever should have lost that game. And it was their own doing. Yes, there's a bad call, blah, blah, blah. But it was their own doing to even allow Colorado to be in that game. But then that BYU one hurt worse because you had a top 10 team on the ropes. You looked like the better team for a half, and you just didn't put them away. So that I was going through all that grief. And then I watched this game, and I watched Colorado look like the worst team in the country. Like the last time they played was against Iowa State. How much changed in that 2 weeks? And I don't know, that was so bad. That didn't look like a team that was coming off of a win. That's what was so confusing about it. Man.
No.
And
Utah, I mean, kind of looking at Utah here, I mean, they're still not out of it just yet. I mean, They do have a win over Arizona State. I don't know how much that's going to matter in a few weeks, but their only losses are to BYU and Texas Tech. I think they're still a really good team and not out of the Big 12 title race just yet, so they could still make things interesting next month.
Yeah, I think they're really good, and they're not a great team. I think they're a really good team that's got a top 3, top 5 defense in the conference and a really, really inconsistent offense that kind of depends on game flow. They're a good team if they can get a lead early and keep that lead. They're not a good offense if they've got to play from behind. And Saturday was a great example of what they can look like when they're ahead. You're playing against a JV defense.
That might have been the worst first half of football I've ever seen.
I couldn't believe that it just wouldn't end.
No. It went on forever. It was
Utah
never
has
ending.
the ball back again. I was working on show prep. Oh, Utah's got the ball at touchdown. Oh, Utah touchdown again. And then Texas Tech beats Oklahoma State 42-0. We'll start the stopwatch. 30 seconds. Takeaways from this game, Derek.
Well, yeah, there's a reason why so many people in our Big 12 group picked Texas Tech as their survivor pick. No Baron Morton, no problem for the Red Raiders. I don't think Tech played fantastically, and they still won 42-0. Defense holds Oklahoma State to under 200 yards, 0 points. Game was never in question. I don't have a lot to take away from this one outside of Oklahoma State is just absolute dog shit. But I think I do have some concerns about Tech offensively. But I can't take serious takeaways from a game when you play Oklahoma State. Honestly, it's a waste of my time, Jake's time. It's a waste of Aiden's time and everyone listening's time when we talk about Oklahoma State at this point.
I'm going to cover this Iowa State Northwestern exhibition game, and I honestly feel like I can have more legit takeaways from a scrimmage than I can anytime someone plays Oklahoma State.
For sure.
Those poor pokes. Those poor bastards. All right, well, that's our Saturday recap. We'll move into a few more of our segments here on the show, and that starts with bringing in Pulitzer Prize winning producer Aiden Wyatt with our random Big 12 quarterback.
Yeah, they just hand those out to anybody. So this quarterback was a 4-year starter at 2 Big 12 schools. And as it sits right now, he had more career passing yards than Sawyer Robertson and sits just behind Kenny Hill on the all-time Big 12
Is it
passing
Baker
yards list.
Mayfield?
No. Nope.
He would have been way above Kenny Hill.
Honestly, just for the future, do OU and Texas guys still count on that list? I'm guessing.
I'm saying, on the list, yes. I will not use them though. I refuse.
Okay.
Oh.
Good to know.
Yeah, because Baker finished third all time for passing yards.
Was he
Landry Jones is number one.
He started for 2 full seasons for each school. Was he like the starter the whole time?
I can go through his games per year. School 1, 11 games in his first season, 12 games in his second season. School 2, 12 games in his first season, 9 in his second season. 45 touchdowns, 31 picks.
Ugh.
6,300 yards.
I don't know if I have a guess for this one. I can't even think of it. I'm trying to just think of one team that could maybe do it, but then now you're throwing 2 teams in the mix.
Can you repeat the last clue again of where he ranks?
Where he ranks?
Yeah.
He's above Sawyer Robertson and just below Kenny Hill.
Okay. Gotcha. I was thinking that he was towards the top. Never mind. I totally misinterpreted that clue the first time I heard it.
No. I mean, top 50 all time, but
okay,
just barely.
Man. I got nothing.
Was it a West Virginia quarterback at one point?
No.
I don't know if I have a guess for that, dude. Can you give us one school maybe, or maybe the years he played?
I can give you the years he played.
There we go. Give me something.
2021 to 2024.
Oh
great,
my
so
gosh!
it's recent.
Is it Alan Bowman?
No. Nope.
He played.
I feel like
years.
I feel like an idiot. I don't know. I feel like I should know it, but I don't know it. I don't. You're gonna have to give me this. I don't. I give up. This is just bad. This is bad podcasting right now. There's probably somebody out there saying it's who knows who it is and calling us idiots by now.
Jake, you got
give
anything?
up. I don't know.
Yeah, I surrender.
Somebody
Donovan
obvious.
Smith.
Oh my gosh.
Donovan Smith.
Very forgettable.
Yep. Was at Texas Tech for
forgettable.
2 years and then Houston, his junior and senior years.
I mean, played for him last year.
Yeah.
He was really their quarterback last year. I forgot all about him. I think Texas Tech fans have probably forgotten about him. I'm sure Houston fans by now have probably forgotten about him. So
That was maybe our worst attempt ever at the random.
That's the first time I've stumped you guys in a while.
Yeah,
well,
we were like
also
totally
early.
stumped.
It's a little early for us, Aiden. I need a little time.
Well, that wasn't a good time. Do you know where you can find a good time though?
Tell me.
Whiskey River. They've always got good times.
Looking for a good time? Thought so. Whiskey River is just the place. We've got the booze, the food, the vibe, and the amazing rooftop patio. The only thing missing is you. Whiskey River.
Whiskey River. Always having a good time down there with some good food, cold beer, great service, comfy bar chairs, big TVs, and they present our Big 12 top 5 power rankings. I'll start. BYU stays at number 1, moving to 8-0, a big win over my beloved Iowa State Cyclones. At number 2, we'll keep Texas Tech up there. Number 3, I had Houston jump Cincinnati. I just thought their win over Arizona State was so unexpected and so impressive that it's worthy of them moving up to 3. Cincinnati's 4. I really think you can change Houston and Cincinnati whatever order you want. I think they're really close when it comes to these power rankings. And then Utah, following their 1,600-yard performance over Colorado, moves back into my top 5.
Mine's going to definitely look a little bit different from yours this week.
Wow.
I've got BYU at number 1 for mine, obviously this week. I'm going to go down the list here. Number 2, Cincinnati. That's where we've kind of disagreed over the last couple weeks. I've got Cincy at 2. Texas Tech at 3. I think that's pretty fair to put them right there right now. Houston at 4. They climb up a spot. And how about number 5? Do you see that, Jake, this week?
I actually thought about that.
Kansas State at number 5. I could agree with you to put Utah there as well. But I think right now with the way Kansas State is playing, still only, I know they're 4-4 overall, but only 2 losses in conference play. They're still technically not out of it just yet. And like I said earlier, that's a team I would not want to play in the month of November.
Yeah, I think that's a fair list. I was down to Utah or K-State at 5 also.
Which I can't believe I'm saying that. 2 weeks ago, I wouldn't even put them in my top 10 probably.
We now welcome back Aiden.
Come back. Give us an easier question than the Big 12 quarterback.
Oh, you guys are going to love this one. If
this is a what does this weigh question?
No, I would never do that.
Did you weigh a bag of oranges this week?
I'm walking up.
Never again. Never again. Okay. The world's largest frying pan resides in Brend, Iowa. It is 9 foot 3 inches. It weighs over 1,000 pounds. Gentlemen, how many eggs could this hold?
I'll see you guys
cast
later.
Iron. Well,
Sorry, it's Iowa's largest frying pan, not the world's largest.
Okay.
You said 9 feet tall.
Who the hell wants a bigger frying
9
pan
feet
than
3
that?
inches.
It looks like it's 90 feet.
I know this picture doesn't really help my perception of how many eggs this thing.
Well, look at that! Look at that tiny blue car. This frying pan's huge. To put it into perspective, a normal 10-inch frying pan holds about 6 eggs.
That doesn't help me at all. I can't do math. I don't know. 2,000 eggs, 25. I'm gonna guess 2,500 eggs. I don't know.
What?
I don't know.
I was gonna go 150.
528. Nice try, guys. Maybe
We were
next
way
week.
off. I was way off.
He gave us the dimensions.
Dude, that does not help me. I couldn't. There's no way I could sit here all day. I wouldn't figure that out.
Well, 10 inches, yeah. That math doesn't add up, but whatever.
See, I would sit here. You could give me
Aiden
that
has
question.
made the
I'd sit here
Iowa
all
trivia
day.
question impossible this year.
He really has. I don't even know
He's
if we
just
got
here to
one.
make fun of us.
It's not even really well, I guess that one wasn't
It's
Iowa
embarrassing.
trivia, but yeah.
I would argue that one was not Iowa trivia. These are mainly just nonsense at this point.
I know. I'm waiting on him to weigh his dog or something and ask us how much it weighs.
Big 12 Survivor. Everyone but 5 people move on. We had a couple pick Arizona State. One brave soul picked Iowa State.
Ooh.
So we've still got about 150 people remaining.
It's a good amount for the month of November.
And Oklahoma State's on a bye next week. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see who everyone picks that week. So the week that they're on a bye, Colorado plays West Virginia. How can you in good faith pick either of those teams?
I don't think you can.
So it'll come down to Houston on the road at UCF. That'll probably be a lot of people's pick, but Houston has been picked a lot by
Houston
some folks.
already.
So
yeah, I'm gonna have a decision to make.
So you'll be getting an email if you are one of the remaining survivors. You'll be getting an email on Sunday to fill out your form before next week's slate of games. Not a great week for picking games out of Derek or I went 2-3. Duke went 1-4, putting our standings at. I'm at 27-18 on the year. Duke is 25-20. We'll pick 5 more games this week. We'll need a bounce back.
I just had a lot of bad picks in general. I picked LSU over A&M. That was just an awful pick. I just made so many bad picks yesterday in general. I need to stop. I need a break.
So full disclaimer, we don't have kick times or networks for most of these games yet, so we'll just go down the list with the point spread, the total. We'll do our best to pick it. Iowa State opens up as 3.5-point favorites over Arizona State at home. The over-under is 50.5. Sorry, I should say Iowa State opened as a 1.5 favorite, and it's now at 3.5. Where are you going?
I got to know the status of Sam Levitt at this point. I don't think
should we delay this pick?
We might have to delay this pick because a lot of it's going to depend on if Sam Levitt and if Jordan Tyson play. If they're both playing, at this point, I'm probably just taking Arizona State. If they're not playing, then I'd probably take Iowa State. So I'll leave it at that.
Okay. Yeah, we'll send a text on Thursday and we'll tweet out who we're picking.
That's fair.
How's that sound?
That's good.
Game of the week. Oh, man. This spread has caught my eye. Texas Tech at K-State. Guess what the point spread is.
I don't know, 13 and a half. Texas Tech.
Texas Tech is only favored by a point.
Wow.
It opened up as K-State as 4.5-point favorites. It has since moved 5 points nearly. Oh my gosh, what a trap line. The over-under is 57.5, but you know the rule, Derek. You cannot pick the total in this game.
Oh, damn it. So what, Tex, you said Tex a 1.5 favorite?
Yeah, it's essentially a pick 'em. Who's winning?
Gosh. I think I'd have to go Texas Tech. If it was a touchdown, I might feel better about it. I think I have to go Tech. And I don't feel good about that pick. Let me say that. I would stay the hell away from it. If you're betting this game, I would stay the hell away from it.
Absolutely.
Or I'd just pick Kansas State outright. I think, but here I've got to go Texas Tech. That's such a small spread. I can't.
Oh gosh, I got to go Tech too, but man, this is the type of line in Vegas that you're supposed to hammer K-State.
Yes.
Oh man,
If
that
you're
is
betting,
terrifying.
If you have to bet the game, you have to bet Kansas State.
There's a shot we show up next week on Bigger Than 12, and some of my preseason Tech fears might be vindicated. If they lose this game.
Well, if they lose this game,
they can't
all
lose
hell
this
would
game.
break
They
loose.
just can't. They can't lose this game. They can't do it. I'm picking Tech. Another really good game. Cincinnati at Utah. Guess the point spread on this one.
I'd be willing to bet Utah's favored.
Okay, you're halfway there.
Maybe by, 3.
7.5. The Utes are favored at home over Cincinnati. The total sits at 56.5.
I'm taking Cincinnati to cover that spread. I don't know if I'm going to comfortably pick them to win, but I'll take Cincinnati to cover that.
Yeah, I think you have to. If you're giving me a touchdown for Cincy, they're due for a loss. I don't think they're going to win this game, but Utah did look really good on Saturday. I think you still got to go Cincy. If you're giving me the hook also, just give me Cincy to cover that plus 7.5. Central Florida takes a trip to Waco to fight the Fighting Dave Arandas. Baylor is favored by 3.5 at home.
Huh.
The total's 57.5.
Getting sick and tired of jumping on this Baylor cover train here, but I've got to do that. UCF is not a great football team. I know Baylor hasn't been great either lately, but the dead cat bounce did not work for Baylor last week against Cincy. So, but I've got to take Baylor in that spot, especially at home.
If they can't win this game, I don't think it matters if the best coach on the market's Mark Mangino. You got to fire Dave Aranda.
You have to fire Dave Aranda if he loses this game, 100%.
I hate to agree with you for a third straight pick, but I have to. There's no way that Baylor wins this game by less than a field goal.
That doesn't even make any sense to me, but maybe Vegas knows something that we don't.
They probably do.
Yeah,
it's Vegas. They always know something. And the fifth game for this week was a real doozy to find. We are down to West Virginia at Houston or Arizona at Colorado, which is what I settled with. Guess the point spread on this one.
You're making me think this morning on a morning where I've probably not got the best thinking cap on. I don't know. Arizona probably favored by 7.
Close
7.5. 7.5.
That's a win. 5.5.
Okay.
Total's 51.5 for the game out in Boulder.
Yeah, I'm just going to take Arizona in that game. I have no good faith in picking Colorado to cover that at all. I'm taking Arizona.
Just so I don't agree with you for 4 straight picks, give me the under in this game at 51.5. I think Colorado's defense probably has a little bit of a bounce back game. Just a little bit of a bounce back in them. So
I don't know if Colorado can bounce back after that loss.
I'm
going to be very interested to see how they react to that.
I just don't think there's going to be a lot of points scored in this game, is my point.
That's fair.
We actually just got a kickoff for Iowa State, Arizona State. It is a noon game on TNT.
Wow. They got the TNT game, huh?
Yeah, noon Central Time. Weird. I guess that beats 11 a.m.
That is an odd kickoff time. But hey, shout out to TNT. They do a fantastic job.
No kidding. They did. That broadcast in Lawrence yesterday looked awesome.
It was great. Their broadcast is great. The team's great. Their post-game's good. Their halftime's good. The pregame stuff's always great. And they're I think they follow the teams all week long pretty much. As well, they send crews to each school. So they do a really, really good job. And I'm glad that TNT is with the Big 12 for this because they do an excellent job. Better job than ESPN does, who didn't even bother to pick the Houston-Arizona State game on College Game Day, by the way.
That's a whole other topic.
Yeah, it is.
They didn't even list Houston as one of the one-loss teams in America on one of their graphics.
Yeah, they just suck. It's terrible. It's just garbage SEC propaganda. That's all it is.
Well, if I had another hour, we could certainly get into that, but...
Oh, we could. We could sit here all day and talk about that.
We'll save that for another week. This has been Bigger Than 12 here in the Channel Seed Studios. Thank you for joining us. If this is your first time listening or if you're a regular, we appreciate all of it. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Iowa Everywhere, and we'll be back same time next week on a Sunday here on Bigger Than 12.